Atlas stones. I want to help you guys with Atlas stones. It's a staple of Strongman. It is one of the most basic, savage motions. It involves every single muscle group. As you go down to pick up the stone, it's going to involve your legs, your back, even your chest, shoulders, as it squeezes your biceps, your forearms. And then as you roll up the stone and you press it over, even your triceps are going to get involved. So there's nothing that's not included in a stone lift. And therefore, it is my favorite exercise and one of my best exercises as well, because I train it relentlessly. And I've come up with a few ways to make it easier for you. So one thing I've noticed with especially more newcomers is when they go pick up the stone, I've seen it roll forward or roll backwards. When you go to pick up a stone, you have to make sure that your hands are directly in the center of that stone, so that way it's not going to roll on you. The way I like to do this is basically with widespread fingers, have that diameter, cut your hand in half this way. So when I put my hands underneath the stone is going to pinch my pointer finger and my middle finger, and by feeling that pinch, I know that now the stone is centered on my hand. Versus if you just feel it pinch your pointer finger, it's likely the stone's going to roll forward. Or if you just feel it pinch your middle finger, it'll likely roll backwards. Make sure that the ground and the stone are pinching these two fingers. Also, I line up the center of the stone with my toes, or right behind the toes. Because if the center of the stone is whatsoever forward, to pick it, I mean, if you have the strength, it's going to swing back in and you're going to be able to pick it anyways. If it's a heavy stone, it's going to pull you forward and out of position. It's going to feel twice as heavy or not move at all. So make sure that stone is centered right behind your toes. As I get my hands centered in the stone and the center of the stone also behind my toes, I lift up to my lap and then I quickly shift my feet in. The reason for this is because when you have a nice wide stance, you're going to have less of a lever to then drive the stone up your body. So with the feet in, I can actually roll the stone up my lap, up my sternum, and over the bar or box or wherever you're placing it. Another little thing I do is I don't just front squat the stone up. I'll actually push my hips back, and then then drive my hips hard forward as I'm pulling the stone up. And what happens is I sort of limbo under the stone and it rolls up my body. This little momentum trick takes a lot of static strength out of the lift. It becomes then a momentum game. So you're creating momentum, the stone's rolling up your body, and then I really kick in my legs and drive it up and over. That's my little trick for just the technique of stones. Something I like to do in training also, because a lot of people get comfortable with doing like lifting stones to either shorter platforms or a shorter bar. In training, treat it, essentially always train yourself to be able to lift to a higher height than you need to. And oftentimes I don't even train to lift the stone over a bar or over a box. My goal is just to be able to lift up the stone up to my chin, where a log would normally sit, right in this groove of the neck. And I'll do a pause there just to get comfortable with the weight of the stone. Whatever weight of a stone I'm lifting, I try to be able to do that before I then go practice it in a series or over a bar for reps. Because if you don't have the comfort of a stone being that high, you're gonna tire out and you're gonna miss the mark. And I've seen this so often with guys that can lift insane weights over a shorter bar or shorter box, tire out when it's much taller, and they miss that last mark just by a couple inches because they don't have that comfort of rolling the stone back, leaning back, getting the height that they need to. So train height on stones, get very comfortable with lifting stones up high and even holding them there, because you're gonna have sticky situations where you're fighting with a stone and it's almost at the mark you need it to be. But because you've trained height, you can get those extra couple inches right at the end. So if you guys have any questions, I'm sure you do, leave a comment below and I'll get back.